After Michael Jackson was accused of sexually molesting children, some people found it troubling that he went on to have 3 children of his own. But as it turns out, he was an attentive and loving father. How are his children doing now, living at their grandmother's house? And what wise plans did he set in place to protect their future? There are images of Michael Jackson's children that shocked the world. The singer dangling his baby son out of a hotel window, forcing his children to wear bizarre masks out in public. But perhaps the one that will endure longest is that of Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris, speaking at his memorial service.
And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
Paris has such a love for her father, and it just touches her heart to know that he will no longer be with her.
Daddy has been the best.
What was it like to be there, to see Paris break down talking about how much she loved her daddy?
It was an emotional moment. It wasn't easy.
Frank Cassio was a close friend of Michael's for decades, sharing vacations and holidays with the king of pop. He has seen Michael's children many times since their father's death.
Those 3 kids, it's their father. That's all they knew. That was their world.
Prince, I wish for you to learn about perseverance and confidence and the true meaning of success, which is love.
It's like somebody took their world away from them.
It'll get better with time. That pain will still always be there. But I don't think it's heavy.
Michael Jackson's first son, Prince, was born in February of 1997 to Jackson and his second wife, Debbie Rowe. When Barbara Walters sat down with Michael 7 months later, his joy was obvious.
Do you like being a father?
I love it.
Are you very involved with him?
Yes. Just hearing my voice, he knows. He knows it's me, and he sees me, and his eyes light up. When he's crying, to keep him from crying, you have to do one thing.
What?
I have to stand in front of him and dance.
Really?
Yes. And he stops crying. His tears turn to laughter, and he starts happy. He smiles.
Do you want more children?
Yes.
Just months later, Michael's daughter, Paris, was born. And in 2002, Jackson welcomed another son known as Blanket. Michael assumed sole custody and formed a powerful bond with all 3 children. It's very striking on the birthday videos that were taken before Michael died. The affection, the level of affection that all 3 kids have for him.
And I love you so much.
And they did, and he loved them. That's what kept him going, those children.
I mean, they was, Mike called them the 4 buddies, you know, and that's what they were. So there was no one closer.
So close that some wondered whether Michael's embrace was too tight.
First verse one more time.
You are my daddy, my only daddy.
Pop candle.
At many of those birthday parties, the Jackson 4 were the only ones celebrating because no other children were invited.
All this food, all this cake. And be like, well, where are all the kids? We thought we was coming to a big party. You got a magician, a clown, and you're only entertaining 3 kids.
Michael also homeschooled his children and worried obsessively about their safety. In the Living with Michael Jackson documentary with Martin Bashir, Prince and Paris were filmed wearing elaborate masks. Michael did not want their identities revealed because he feared they would be kidnapped.
He was also scared that his children were going to be poisoned. And he was worried when they were at Netherlands that coyotes were going to come and snatch them away. And because of that, they were incredibly isolated.
Since Michael Jackson's death, the children have emerged from their lives of isolation. In accordance with their father's wishes, they live with Michael's mother, Catherine, in this Encino home. The family says the process of healing has been steady but slow.
Paris constantly says she misses her dad, and she wished he were there with her every single day.
In a newspaper interview published this week, Catherine Jackson revealed that Paris has turned her room into a virtual shrine to her father, and that each child spends hours every day listening to Michael's music.
I
know how much those children are going to miss their father. They're coping with it. You know, they cope with it.
Some are concerned that 80-year-old Catherine is overwhelmed by caring for Michael's 3 young children and several of their cousins as well. In March, the LA Department of Child and Family Services investigated reports that Blanket Jackson's cousin, Jafar, had tried to taser him.
Do you think 7 kids was too much, perhaps, to have anybody looking after?
Let's put it this way. Catherine has raised 9 children of her own. You know, certain things possibly need to change moving forward, but those kids are in really good hands.
Do you think they should be allowed at some point to go to school instead of being homeschooled?
Absolutely. It's in the plans for them to go to school, and I think they're looking forward to it.
They're able to go out. They even go out with Catherine to the grocery store sometimes. They go to karate lessons. They go to Universal Studios and go to theme parks. And they live a much different life.
Please welcome Prince and Paris Jackson, everybody.
In January, Prince and Paris accepted a Grammy Award on their father's behalf.
Through all his songs, his message was simple: love.
The children continued their coming out party in these videos, recently posted on YouTube. Paris performs a rap song,
Yeah, and I'm sort of like a hooligan.
while Blanket acts out a Star Wars skit.
Hey, John, make coffee, Father. Get that down, Father.
It was the kind of publicity Michael had hoped they would never have. In fact, he hoped they would never follow him onto the stage.
Why do you think Michael was opposed to any of his children ever going into the music business?
I don't think he wanted any of his children to have the life that he had, because it wasn't easy.
In details of a family trust made public just weeks ago, Michael Jackson left the bulk of his estate to his children. He was careful not to give them too much too soon. Each child must be 40 years old to inherit all the money due them, at least $33 million each.
Do you think they have any concept how much money they are each worth?
I don't think it's important to them. I think what's important to them is the family around them. And
No, I think more from the aspect of being on guard against people trying to take advantage of them.
I will say this: Prince is very, very smart, beyond his years, and he knows what's going on.
All 3 children will have to be savvy in the years ahead. They face many of the same hurdles their father did, surrounded by the promise and the pitfalls of massive wealth, and pursued everywhere by paparazzi.
They don't really like to be photographed still. But you can't keep every camera away.
Just yesterday, these pictures were taken at a family holiday in Hawaii.
Do you think it's possible that they can ever have a somewhat normal life?
I don't think, you know, being the children of Michael Jackson, I don't think they'll ever have a completely normal life.
Next, the money problems the children never knew and making sure they never would by facing his fears for one final comeback.
She once told me, I don't want to be performing Billie Jean when I'm 50 years old.
When we come back,